What common mistakes do people make when choosing a life partner?
If you are watching this, leave your favorite fruit emoji in the comments.
Not discussing big life issues, your preference for having kids, parenting styles, deep religious beliefs, career aspirations, significant traumas, anything that may affect how you make decisions together later on.
My wife and I were part of the Catholic Church when we got married. They did a very good marriage preparation course that workshopped all these things. You also had to discuss chores and how you work with others and extended families. It was one of the most useful parts of my religious experience. Everyone who's planning to get married should go through some kind of preparation course, regardless of where they're getting married and what kind of person is doing the ceremony. Religion shouldn't be the only place where marriage prep takes place.
I'm not Catholic, but my wife is. We went through that marriage prep too. The questionnaire I filled out was genuinely something every couple should do before getting married. Just take out the 10% of the questions that were religion-based first.
Finances too. Finance is the #1 leading cause of divorce.
What does finance mean specifically? Budget allocation, income, investment.
And yet there are people who still choose to get married even though they are incompatible on one of these or many of these fundamental issues. I have heard of couples where one doesn't want kids and the other one does, staying together, and I just wonder how they think that's supposed to work out for them in the long term. It seems like they both kinda just hold on to the hope for one of them to change their mind, which is a recipe for disaster, IMO.
Having kids is a really big question that absolutely needs to be communicated. I've also heard that it's a topic that would make the man a big red flag if asked early into the relationship, as in first date and/or texts are off limits. Wouldn't it be a lot nicer to speed date these big topics early on?
My last boyfriend and I did this. Big topics, right off the back. We ended up agreeing on most, but the small things didn't work out in the end. The way I see it, why waste the energy falling for someone if there are critical things you don't agree on and are unwilling to compromise on?
Genuine question. At what stage of a relationship should discussions of these topics be raised?
Really?
Going in thinking you can change or fix them never works, is a pretty crappy way to view someone you want to spend your life with.
I once heard a saying, a man gets with a woman hoping she will never change, a woman gets with a man hoping he will change. Not saying I agree with that statement, but I would say the hoping in either situation is a mistake.
Absolutely, well put.
I've fallen in love with many women in my life. The one I married was also the one that helped me be my best self.
Ignoring glaring red flags just to not stay alone.
If you found this video funny, then smash the subscribe button.
Settling. Don't ever settle. Find someone who complements your existence, and whose existence you complement in return. Not communicating life expectations early. Not ensuring intimacy compatibility. Sticking it out even when it's not working.
Shit, if I never settled I'd be alone forever, lol. I don't have the luxury of choice.
Giving up on the one and only and marrying the only. Don't settle unless you know that you will be okay with that decision the rest of your life, and unless you're fine with them eventually finding out that this is what happened, they won't be fine with it. Also, rushing in before you understand compatibility in terms of goals, boundaries, etc. You could end up with someone that wants completely different things out of life than you do. Finally, marrying them for personal reasons. They're hot. They won't be forever. They actually, probably, won't be for most of your lives together. Hot is almost exclusively a young people's thing. They're rich. Maybe they are. Maybe they're a poser and just swimming in debt. Maybe they lose their income or get sued. Don't marry for shallow reasons, it never ends well.
Not being on the same page when it comes to money.
1. Getting married too young. 2. Getting married to the first person they ever fell in love with. 3. Not knowing each other long enough before marrying. 4. Not living together before marriage. 5. Not discussing all important issues, kids, money, employment, before getting married.
Not listening to the opinions of your friends and family regarding your significant other. Many of us get blinded by our emotions. People you trusted before the relationship will let you know honestly whether it's a good match or not.
Oh, I can change them.
Not knowing how that person will act during times of hardship like financial, health or natural disasters. Everyone is going to be there for you in the good times, but only the real ones stay during the bad times.
Making future plans at a young age before you're really committed. Hey, I've got a job in New York, why don't you look there? We could live together and save money.
Looks over intelligence.
Choosing one way too early in life. I see people married in their early to mid-20s, and I'm like, damn, I didn't even figure myself out until 30, let alone know exactly who I wanted to marry.
They prioritize choosing a life partner instead of choosing a person for who they are.
Not choosing me. Planning for a wedding instead of a marriage. Marriages are expensive AF, full of unnecessary stress, and often bring out the worst not just in the couple but in their families as well. Most people who want to be married and start a life together would be better served pocketing their money, getting married at the courthouse, and living their lives without the debt many people go into to have their dream wedding.
Not testing if they are able to cohabitate first.
Focusing on that one thing they have in common, and thinking a great relationship can come from it. I know I made this mistake in my youth.
Ignoring blatant red flags.
I think you should smash the like button. Financial compatibility.
They do not discuss money and kids before getting married. When I started dating my wife, I told her I wanted kids, and if we had boys, none of them were getting mutilated, circumcision. We talked about it and we agreed on 2 kids, potentially 3, and the boys were not getting mutilated. I also told her my family's naming tradition for boys and how I wanted to carry it on. She agreed to that as well.
Choosing someone based solely on looks or money. Choosing a life partner.
Staying with someone just because they don't see a reason to break up, instead of staying with someone because they see reasons to be with them.
Rushing into things. I fell victim to my own desires to not be alone. My wife asked me for a divorce in summer 2018. By November I was already onto another relationship which lasted 3 years and had me move to 2 different states. If I'd spent longer getting to know my then girlfriend, I'd have unearthed more of the red flags. I don't regret the whole experience, as I learned a lot about myself and also ended up in a new area with far lower cost of living than I'd been before, balanced against having a good job and plenty of opportunities.
Relying way too much on tribal affiliation instead of assessing them as individuals and actually seeing if you have compatible values, e.g. only dating Christians or Democrats.
Starting with physical attractiveness. I mean, looks are nice, I agree. But it's pointless if your personal match is shallow. My wife didn't have a personal picture on her profile. We started with some nice audio chats before sending pictures and meeting in real life. By that time, we had already established that there was a good mental click. I think she's beautiful and she thinks I'm handsome too, but we started on the personas. Don't find the hottest one out there. Find your soulmate.
Thinking that they could fix them, and ignoring some red flags because they're harmless.
People tend to ignore red flags when someone is physically attractive, especially young people.
Not doing a background health check. Someone would be carrying a deadly chronic disease in their genes, but we don't care, 'cause love. Then get kids. A few turn out well, but there's that one who doesn't and goes ahead to drain all the health insurance.
Only looking at how sexy she is. That may be fine for Mrs. right now. But, for a life partner, you have to check out her mom too.
Ignoring the signs that their partner is not loyal.
Thinking it's less work to stay together and be fine than to break up, be sad short term, but potentially find someone perfect.
Finding out they are a liberal, wow, just ruins everything.
Choosing someone they love so much, instead of choosing someone that reciprocates that love. A lot of marriages are one-sided and one partner loves the other with their whole heart, meanwhile the other partner likes them, just for the convenience of having someone like you. You should always wait to find that one person that reciprocates the love you have for them.